Have you ever been in a situation where everything she does feels just a little more like she remembers? Things you said weeks ago shows up when it matters most, or suddenly goes quiet when you mention someone else. It's subtle, it's silent, but it screams emotions. Welcome to the world of unspoken love, where actions whisper what words are too afraid to say. Hi, I'm Amelia, and welcome to Dark Facts 2.0, the place where we uncover the truths people try to hide today. We're diving into something emotionally charged and deeply personal. 9 signs she is hiding deep feelings for you. You might think you're just imagining things, but what if you're not? Because when someone is fighting their emotions, they don't always confess with words, they confess with patterns. Their habits, their body language, their nervous laughter, everything becomes a clue. So if you've ever asked yourself, does she like me more than she lets on, this video might just give you the answers you've been looking for. The psychology of hidden feelings. Let's start with a question. Why do people hide their feelings, especially when it comes to love? It's not always about playing hard to get. Often, it's rooted in something deeper: fear of rejection, fear of vulnerability, fear of losing control, and sometimes, fear of ruining something that already feels special. Women in particular are often socially conditioned to mask their emotions. Don't seem too eager, don't give your heart away, don't be the one who cares more. These quiet rules are learned over time, and they shape how love is hidden rather than shown. But here's the truth: feelings, no matter how deep you bury them, always find their way to the surface. That's where subconscious communication begins. Here's what she says, and then there's what she shows without realizing it. This is where you need to pay attention. Maybe she lingers a bit longer in conversation, maybe her voice softens when she talks to you, or maybe she remembers something you only mentioned once and brings it up weeks later. These are not coincidences, they are emotional signatures, and once you learn to decode them, you'll never look at your relationship the same way again. Stay with me, because the next signs could change the way you see her forever. Sign number 1, she goes out of her way for you. Ask yourself this: would someone consistently make your life easier, better, smoother if they didn't feel something more? One of the clearest and most underrated signs that she's hiding deep feelings for you is when she goes out of her way to do things that make your life better without being asked. This isn't about grand romantic gestures or showy declarations, it's about the quiet, consistent care. Maybe she brings you your favorite coffee without you ever telling her you needed one. Maybe she notices when you're overwhelmed and she jumps in to help with advice, support, or just a calming presence. These aren't random acts of kindness, they're strategic, emotionally charged decisions that scream, I care about you, even if I can't say it out loud. But here's the key. It's not just about what she does, it's about how often she does it. If she's reliably showing up when you need her, even when it's inconvenient for her, she's not just being nice. She's being emotionally vulnerable through action. Why doesn't she just admit it? Because vulnerability is terrifying. She may fear rejection, she may fear losing your respect, so instead, she communicates in the language of effort. Don't overlook these moments, they are often the most genuine form of affection, because they're driven not by obligation but by emotion. When someone chooses inconvenience over comfort just to be there for you, it's often because their heart made that decision long before their mind could process it. In a world where people are too busy, too distracted, and too guarded, anyone who goes out of their way repeatedly is someone who has emotionally invested in your happiness. Sign number 2, she gets nervous around you. You've probably seen it, or maybe even felt it. There's a shift in her energy when you walk in, her words get tangled, her hands fidget, her eye contact flickers. Why? Because she's emotionally invested, and her body is exposing the truth. Science explains this clearly. When we're around someone we're attracted to, our brain floods with chemicals like dopamine, the feel-good chemical adrenaline, the thrill, the spark oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This can cause racing heart, blushing cheeks, sweaty palms, and even clumsy behavior. She might overthink her responses, laugh a little too hard at your jokes, suddenly get quiet or distracted when you compliment her. It's not about being shy, it's about being emotionally unsteady in your presence. Her mind is trying to stay composed. Her emotions are pulling her in another direction. The result: nervous energy, and nervous energy almost always signals romantic tension that hasn't been acknowledged. If she seems to act differently only around you, and it's a mix of excitement, awkwardness, and attentiveness, don't dismiss it. You've triggered something real. It's also important to remember that nervousness is often the body's response to something that matters deeply. So when she becomes flustered, it's not weakness. It's a sign of emotional weight. It means that you hold power over her peace, even if she's doing everything she can to stay calm on the surface. Sign number 3, she remembers the small details. Let's be real, we don't remember what we don't care about. So if she remembers the little things you said, details that even you forgot about, It means you've taken up space in her mind and her heart. It could be your favorite type of music, the book you said changed your life, a story about your childhood. You told her once you might have thrown it out in passing, but she held on to it, like it was important, because to her it is. Why does this matter so much? Because emotional investment leads to focused attention. When she remembers the tiniest fragments of your life, it's not about memory, it's about emotional priority, and here's the twist: she's not doing it to impress you. She does it naturally because when you matter, the details stick. This kind of attentiveness is rare, it's intimate, it's unconscious, and most importantly, it's real. We live in a world where people forget your name minutes after introduction, so when someone remembers not just what you said, but how you said it, what it meant to you, and brings it back at just the right time, that's not just memory, that's connection at a soul-deep level. Sign number 4. She's deeply interested in your personal life. Let me ask you something. She asks questions. When's the last time someone asked about your dreams? Not just your day. If she's consistently digging into your goals, values, beliefs, and even your past, that's no small talk, that's emotional intimacy in disguise. This goes far beyond how was your day. Instead, she asks what motivates you to do what you do. What was your childhood like? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? She's not just curious, she's connecting. Every question is her quiet way of saying, I want to understand you, the real you, and it goes deeper if she brings up things you told her weeks ago and wants updates, or if she shows empathy when you talk about your struggles. That's emotional labor, that's mental presence, and it's one of the most overlooked signs of hidden feelings. But here's the catch: she won't always do this directly. Sometimes it shows up in jokes, subtle questions, or casual mentions, because asking too deeply might reveal just how much she truly cares. So if she's invested in learning your story, your wounds, your hopes, don't ignore it. People only ask these things when they're thinking about a future with you in it. When she seeks to understand the blueprint of your soul, she's already building a bridge between her heart and yours. Sign number 5. She becomes jealous but tries to hide it. This one is tricky and revealing. Jealousy doesn't always look like rage or possessiveness. In fact, the most telling jealousy is the one wrapped in silence. Let's say you casually mention another woman, a coworker, a female friend, someone new in your life. Suddenly, her vibe changes, her tone tightens, she grows distant or unusually quiet. Maybe she asks questions, then changes the subject fast. Why? Because jealousy is vulnerability, and for someone hiding their emotions, that vulnerability can feel threatening. She might say things like, oh, you guys hang out a lot, she seems really cool, but beneath that smile, her mind is racing. Am I enough? Do I still have a chance? Is he interested in her? What you're seeing isn't insecurity, it's emotional investment. She cares, she doesn't want to admit it, so instead, her behavior slips through the cracks, and this is key. Healthy jealousy, when not manipulative, is actually a powerful indicator of emotional depth. It reveals that you matter enough for her to feel the sting of competition, even if she hides it. Well, the emotional sting of seeing someone else have your attention triggers a silent scream in the heart of someone in love, and it's not drama, it's devotion disguised as composure. Sign number 6. She finds reasons to be around you. People don't just happen to be in your orbit over and over again. When someone likes you, they make space for you, so look closer. Ask yourself, is she suddenly interested in your hobbies? Is she showing up to events even when she's not into them? Is she always finding reasons to check in? That's not a coincidence, that's proximity on purpose. Maybe she asks for help with something she probably could have done herself. Share a meme or article just to start a conversation, sends a random message that turns into a 2-hour heart-to-heart. These are intentional low-risk invitations to connect. Why does she do this? Because saying, I want to be with you, might be too direct. But being near you, that's safe, that's familiar, and it's her way of slowly weaving herself into your life, hoping you'll feel the pull without her needing to say the words. Consistency is everything here. If she's always finding a way to stay connected, that's not by accident. That's because you've become her comfort zone, and possibly her emotional home. When she chooses to orbit your world even when there's no logical reason for her to be there, that's not friendship, it's her soul gravitating towards something it's trying hard not to name. Sign number 7. She compliments you frequently and meaningfully. Let's talk about compliments, not the empty ones, but the ones that make you pause and think, wow, she really sees me. When someone is hiding deep feelings, they often express them in ways that feel safe, and compliments are one of the safest outlets for affection. Now, there are 2 types of compliments: surface compliments, nice shirt, cool haircut, soul-level compliments. You always know how to make people feel seen. You're the kind of person who stays calm when others would fall apart. Which ones does she give you? If her compliments focus on your character strengths, emotional intelligence, The way you make people feel, then she's doing more than praising you, she's doing more than praising you, she's admiring you. What makes these compliments even more powerful is that they often come unprompted. She's not fishing for validation. She's sharing truth that her heart won't allow her to hide, and sometimes these compliments are wrapped in humor or sarcasm to deflect attention, but if you listen closely, you'll hear the admiration every time. Remember this: people compliment what they value. If she's constantly praising who you are, not just how you look, it's because she sees you have something more than a friend. When a person sees your soul and still chooses to affirm your light, that's a sign that the feelings they carry are not fleeting, they are rooted in something deeper than appearances, something lasting, something quietly powerful. Sign number 8, she's protective of you emotionally and socially. This one often gets overlooked, but it's one of the most powerful signs of hidden feelings. Let's be clear, protection isn't always physical. Sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's psychological. Ask yourself, does she get upset when people criticize you? Does she defend you in subtle ways when you're not even in the room? Does she check in on you when you're stressed or unwell emotionally or physically? This isn't just kindness, it's an instinct to guard what she cares about. When someone has deep feelings for you, they feel a natural responsibility for your well-being. They don't want to see you hurt. They want you to succeed, and they often take on a quiet role of emotional bodyguard, even when you don't ask for it. She might get irritated if you skip meals or overwork yourself. Send reminders to take care of your health. Get annoyed when someone treats you unfairly. These aren't controlling behaviors. They're protective impulses rooted in emotional connection, because when you care deeply for someone, you worry in silence. Even if you smile on the outside, and the truth is, emotional protectiveness often stems from a deep place of empathy. When she sees your pain, it echoes in her heart. When you're tired, she becomes your strength. When you're doubted, she becomes your silent champion, because her love doesn't need an audience to exist, it only needs you to be okay. Sign number 9, her actions speak louder than her words. Let's end with this, because this might be the most revealing sign of all. There's an old saying, people may lie with their words, but they tell the truth with their behavior. When someone is hiding deep feelings, their actions often become the loudest confession. Ask yourself, does she consistently show up when it matters? Has she rearranged her schedule just to be available for you? Has she surprised you with something thoughtful you didn't even know you needed? These gestures aren't random, they're sacrifices. They're intentional, and they're fueled by something deeper than friendship. It could be staying up late to help you when she has an early morning, driving across town just to drop something off, sitting with you in silence when you don't have the words to explain your pain. These moments may seem small to the outside world, but they're acts of emotional loyalty. She may never say, I love you, but her actions might say, I'd do anything to see you. Okay, that's not politeness, that's not friendship. That's hidden love trying to break through the surface, and love expressed through action is often the most trustworthy kind, because it's not loud. It's not boastful, it's not seeking attention, it's simply there every time you need it, every time you're not okay, every time the world feels a little too heavy. Her presence becomes your peace, and that kind of silent commitment is the most beautiful form of truth. So there you have it, the 9 signs she is hiding deep feelings for you, decoded through the lens of dark facts 2.0 and emotional intelligence, from nervous energy and protective instincts to consistent actions that quietly scream devotion. These aren't just signs. They're emotional fingerprints, and if you've recognized even a few of these in someone you know, it might be time to look deeper and ask yourself, what if she's been waiting for me to see it all along? If this video gave you clarity, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and comment below, which of these signs have you experienced firsthand? Let's talk about it. Your story might help someone else find their truth too. Until next time, stay observant, stay intentional, and remember, the mind may protect what the heart hides, but the truth always finds a way out. This is Amelia, and you're watching Dark Facts 2.0.